Rise and shine, it's a brand new day with Mona News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it, my dear friends. From politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled. From morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Howdy, everyone. It is the 4th of October, which means that, well, we are that much closer to Halloween. And have you been buying your candy? Because, oh my Lord, I know that we get pummeled by trick-or-treaters, and I am way behind on my general, well, being a responsible and functional human. Oh, sorry. Okay, yes, I will talk to your school and figure out why the absence is unexcused. Thank you. Gotta love it. It is always mom time, sometimes mornings with Mo time. But our first story, because I think we need it sometimes, I've got some, oh my gosh, humanity is not doomed stories. So, absolutely good. A pilot buys pizza for all 150 passengers after an emergency landing leads to a 7-hour layover. I love this story. I know it's just pizza. I know they're still stuck somewhere, but having a person take, and try to make the situation better absolutely, warms my heart. It's the small things. I know that we all wish that there are big, giant miracles that happen all the time. And sometimes there are. Sometimes there are giant, huge miracles. But I love these every little bit, every day sort of magical and heartfelt and kind things that people do to each other or do for each other, not to each other. That, really bring back my faith in humanity, because I swear to goodness, sometimes reading the news, it's not always there. One Friday the 13th, bad luck led to a true act of kindness. United Flight 2480 took off from San Francisco at 1:01 p.m. on September 13th and was scheduled to land a little after 7 p.m. in Houston, Texas. Then things took a turn midair. I noticed there were no flight attendants. They were all in the back for whatever reason. Tanya Stamos, oh, I wonder if she's related to, Uncle Jesse. She told today that was before the captain said anything, and I was like, well, that's kind of odd. Stamos said the captain eventually got on the loudspeaker and asked for help from any medical professionals who may have been on board. Sometimes after those volunteers disappeared into the back of the plane, the captain got back on the intercom and said that there would be an emergency landing in New Mexico. The plane just kind of diverted, she said. Really, you could tell we're going in for a quick landing. According to stats from FlightAware, the flight was diverted to Albuquerque International Sunport and landed at 4:15 p.m. Stamos says an ambulance was there to meet the airplane when it landed, and a passenger was rushed off before any of the rest of the passengers were able to deplane. The emergency landing resulted in a delay, which pushed some of the crew members over the maximum shift hours allowed by Federal Aviation Administration. So legally, Stamos and the rest of the passengers had to wait for a new group of flight attendants before they could get to their final destination. There was a flight coming in from Chicago, like way later in the evening, Stamos says. The new flight crew was due to arrive in time for a 10:15 or 10:30 departure, according to emails and texts that were sent to the passengers. Each passenger was initially given a meal voucher at 7:15, according to reviewed text, which was hours after they started waiting. Then more bad luck came. The captain goes, "Well, just to let you know, the airport is getting ready to close in about 15 minutes," Stamos said. According to the ABQ website, restaurants in the airport close at 9 p.m. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to get into good news, so I forgot my morning good morning, and good morning to each and every one of you. In a heroic effort to feed the flyers, their pilot had a heartwarming idea for dinner, a pizza party. Stamos later posted about the experience on TikTok. Our pilot was absolutely amazing, she wrote. He felt so bad for the situation that he ordered 30 pizzas from a local pizza shop and had it delivered right to our gate, then made sure all 150 passengers ate before he made himself a plate. Today was unable to independently verify the number of pizzas ordered. Representatives for United Airlines confirmed that 153 passengers had been on the flight. Representatives for United Airlines declined today's comments request to be put in touch with the pilot, but do applaud him for his kind action. We love to see our pilots go above and beyond for our customers when the unexpected happens, the United representative told today during an email. This flight diverted due to a medical concern with a passenger, and we all worked to get customers back on their way to Houston quickly. Stamos added that the pilot organized the pizza line the only way that it would make sense for a group of people sitting at a departure gate by passenger seat assignments. I just thought it was so nice, Stamos said. He stood there while everyone got pizza. Then, when one box was empty, he would look at that box, or he took that box and replaced it with a full pizza. Eventually, the replacement flight crew arrived and passengers made their way to Houston, landing in the early morning. Stamos says the extended delay left her with a surprised feeling of positivity. Everyone thinks of something negative happening in the world, and this world is doomed, Stamos says. Reflecting on the pilot's act of kindness, what I take away from this is that it's good always prevails, you know. So absolutely wonderful. And Shantae's Inferno, I will look at that case. I know you had put it up prior to me starting. But if you want to send me the details on that, I can take some notes. I'm going to be out and about today, but I will try. I am anxiously awaiting the Sarah Boone motions from the judge, the orders. So it's kind of like Christmas, and I'm glad to have something to look forward to. In the Hades am I looking at here? The best of humanity, the worst of humanity. An OnlyFans model is facing backlash for a disgusting Hurricane Helene weather report stunt. Well, she is in a bikini. Isn't that special? A bikini-clad OnlyFans model is being blasted for her, quote, disgusting mock weather report she conducted in a flooded Florida street as Hurricane Helene has led to the death of over 160 people and caused historic flooding throughout the Southeast. Influencer Skylar Simpson bore a bright pink string bikini and held an umbrella as she waded through shin-high floods in Tampa, where wind speeds reached 67 miles per hour. Quote, live reporting from Tampa Bay on Bayshore Boulevard, I think everyone's been a little, Simpson began to say before she was pelted in the face with ice cubes that were thrown at her from off camera. All heroes don't wear your capes. Quote, I'd like to go for a walk with my family, she said, according to the video posted to her social media channels, as she was again hit with an ice cube, this time in her right eye. Okay, don't throw ice cubes at people. But yeah, what a dingus. The laughing model had difficulties with the umbrella that she was holding as the storm's winds continually caused it to turn inside out. Thank you so much. I capitalize on my really good hair days because they don't come often. That's why they're often in a ponytail with a handkerchief. Simpson stood at the intersection of a causeway overlooking Hillsborough Bay, holding a bedazzled wireless microphone during that newscast. That is not a newscast. That is an Instagram model looking for attention. As you can see, I think people got a little dramatic with how the weather was going to be here. The storm obviously passed, went up to Tallahassee. I think it's beautiful, right? A beautiful night here on Bay Shore, perfect for strolling with your family or having a nighttime walk, she said, as a person behind the camera splashed water into her face. Yeah, don't do this. Don't be a moron and then expect people who are really, suffering to have any sort of patience for your moranacy. It's a Mo commandment. Don't be an idiot and then get confused when people, you know, label you as such. I feel great and Tampa Bay feels great, Simpson added. Be safe. Skylar Simpson, back to you, Chris, she concluded. Simpson earned her associate's degree in education from Hillsborough Community College in 2018 before attending the University of South Florida, where she graduated with her bachelor's in communication science and disorders in 2020, according to her LinkedIn profile. She went on to sign with 2 different modeling agencies in 2020. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. I don't get it twisted. If I looked like her, I think I would be wearing a string bikini at every opportunity. But maybe I wouldn't be rubbing salt in the wounds of, people that have just lost everything with my it's so nice out here. It's beautiful and I don't know what people are complaining about. Well, ma'am, let me explain to you. People lost their lives and you're over here acting like a beach bunny. You're over here acting like Gidget, except Gidget was badass and Gidget did a lot of cool things in her movies. And yeah, we don't besmirch Gidget. Good morning, Squid Pro Quo. And thank you for your super chat. And yeah, I do have a couple of really good stories today that will, keep you from listening to Fiona Apple turned on loud and raging against everything. Now you can just have Fiona Apple normal, loudness. My kids are like, "Do we have to listen to the angry lady again?" I was like, "Yes, we do." Mommy is angry. I was like, "Don't make me pull out the Tori Amos. We will all be angry." So she signed with 2 modeling agencies in 2020 before launching her OnlyFans venture. The improv stunt garnered more than 1 million or 1.8 million views on TikToks and amassed over 23,000 likes combined on X and Instagram. Quote, jokes aside, I hope everyone's okay, and my heart goes out to all the affected by the storm. But some viewers were not amused with the video, calling Simpson out for making fun of a tragedy. Hope a portion of the benefits you got through likes on this reel you sent helps some of the families in need, one commenter wrote out on Instagram. All for clout, good for you, bet dad's proud, another person said. Hilarious, people died, so let's make jokes. Disgusting, selling content while others are suffering, karma will get you. Simpson defended the video, claiming that, quote, plenty of people actually affected by this have commented and laughed. I had family affected. They know it's humor of news reporters. But yet you still posted it. Incredibly poor taste with this, one Instagram user wrote. In reference to Simpson's caption, people have died or seriously injured. Would you want to be in their shoes? Just because you think you've got a fun drunk moment doesn't mean this post should stay on your account. So if you got tact, delete it. Oh, well, I love Alanis Morissette too, but sometimes she's always in my playlist. I love that I grew up in a time of a bunch of angry women singers that really sang and really used instruments. And this is not shade on Taylor Swift because I know she has an army somewhere. She's just not my cup of tea. Simpson managed to ignore most of the negative comments directed at her, but responded to the last one, explaining her decision to keep the video. Quote, "This is satire of news reporters. If you don't get it, feel free to unfollow. Plenty of people actually affected by this have commented and laughed." Simpson replied to another critic, "I had family affected. They know it's humor of news reporters." Other commenters noted the potential safety hazard of the water Simpson was standing in. "Willing to bet there's definitely sewage in that standing water," one Instagrammer commented. Simpson assured her that she'd already washed off immediately before lathering herself in hydrogen peroxide. Well, isn't that great that, you have the ability to go wash off? Again, as a person who's irreverent about everything, this is just not a good look when you're over here saying, I understand you're mocking, but you're not good at it if people didn't understand that you were mocking. I'm moving to Sweden, don't tell Baker. Just for cinnamon bun day. Okay, but vanilla or cream cheese frosting? And if you say cream cheese, I won't tell Baker because I think cream cheese is the way to go, but that's just me. It is in poor taste. I get what she was trying to do. I get, as a person who generally lambasts people and does parodies of real people, that it is I understand the gist of what she was trying to do, but it really doesn't, it's not a good look, ma'am. Sorry, we're so there was a reason I didn't do nightly newsy news last night, and that's because I'm trying to be much more honest about maybe my body's capability. And so I had promised the two younger boys, because they only have a couple of days for spring, or not spring, for fall break, that we would have one of two activities on Friday. So if it were a bad leg day, we would go see Wild Robot. But if it was a good leg day, we would try to go to a local orchard and pick some apple. You can pick your own apples, and I can get a bunch of apples from the store. So they're like, "Are we going? Are we going now? Are we going now?" And I'm like, "No, you have to change out of the clothes you've worn, yesterday." So it's the same thing if you have young kids and you make the mistake of telling them any plans going forward. They will ask you at 4 a.m. if we are there yet or going to leave soon. I'm like, "They're not even open, guys. Get dressed." In a heartbreaking but also heartwarming story, and I saw this and I thought, you know what? This is gonna be sad, but absolutely respect for the NYPD, who has not had very good optics lately. And I'm not gonna come down on the side of corrupt police officers, but the police officers who did this for this family, spot on, spot on. Uvalde shooting victim, 10 years old, was made an honorary NYPD officer posthumously as his family visited New York City, his dream. A 10-year-old aspiring police officer who unfortunately lost his life during the Robb Elementary School, thing where 400 officers were sitting around, checking their buttholes. Excuse my French, but uh, te- uh, 2 years ago was made an honorary NYPD officer Thursday, warming the hearts of his family. Jose Flores Jr., who lost his life along with 18 other children on May 24th, 2022, was sworn in with a police badge in honor of the interim. One second. So he was given the honor by interim police commissioner Thomas DeLone during an emotional ceremony at One Police Plaza. And what a beautiful thing to do for this family. What a beautiful thing. It feels good what they're going to do for my baby, honoring him, the boy's father, Jose Flores Sr., told the Post. His dream was becoming an officer, and now he is. Flores Sr. and his family were given an all expense paid trip to the Big Apple by Blue Lives Matter NYC after the group caught wind of his story from the Texas police. The 10-year-old was an honor student with plenty of friends before he tragically lost his life, his father said. Quote, he was a good boy. He was a lover of kids. He wasn't a fighter. He was smiling all the time, hyperactive as well. He was up and down talking to me all day, Flores Sr. said. Just a beautiful thing. I mean, it doesn't erase the heartbreak, but I will tell you when I see my kiddos achieve a dream, achieve an accomplishment that they've struggled with, it's always such a magical thing. He said losing his son was the hardest thing in life someone goes through, and that anything else doesn't compare. On Thursday, the family toured St. Patrick's Cathedral and Times Square before the ceremony. I mean, yeah, well, that's because I love my youngest too, but they are oil and water and they just want to annoy each other for breathing, I think. Flores' brothers, Jace 2 and Jaden 8, were also awarded honorary police badges. It was an extremely important and emotional day for everyone, DeLon said. So, what a beautiful thing, including the siblings, and just making this a day for the family. Absolutely. In another As a person who has notoriously bad hair days, I'm not sure what's going on with this little baby bun slash horn growing out of his head, other than his demonic spirit is coming out of his scalp. But that's just my guess. Let's get into this. Completely unacceptable outrage after family of handyman unalived by a gang member, quote, distributed or disturbed by construction noise, realizes the meaning of the killer's head tattoo. Oh, a prison tat to commemorate your crime. That's a genius move there, Dingleberry. A Sureños 13 gang member, paroled multiple times after violent offenses, shot and unalived a handyman over quote unquote construction noise while on a crystal binge more than 4 years ago, only for his own father to tell Utah investigators that his quote, mother effer son did it and there's no question about it, end quote. When the admitted unaliver showed up in court for sentencing last month and learned his fate, a tattoo on the back of his head prominently displayed the number 187, adding yet another layer of outrage to the already alarming case. Jesus Valdez Jr. is going to spend the next 15 years to life behind bars for shooting 39-year-old Melvin Tony Martinez repeatedly on May 28th, 2020, as the father to a young daughter worked on a house in West Valley City, next door to where the killer lived. Local CBS affiliate KUTV has closely followed the case over the years to investigate why a violent offender who attacked both of his parents and threatened to end his ex-girlfriend was allowed out of prison and stayed out of prison despite parole violations. The latest update relates to Valdez's September 20th appearance in court and his head tattoo, which neither jailers, the judge, nor prosecutors noticed at the time, but which Martinez's brother-in-law, for one, regarded in the aftermath as, quote, completely unacceptable, end quote. According to the report, Martinez's family was sitting behind Valdez in court and couldn't help noticing the large 187 tattoo, a tattoo interpreted to refer to the section of California Penal Code that criminalizes murder. The report said that Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office, the judge's office, and the district attorney's office all said they were unaware of the tattoo, with the judge's communication director adding this kind of incident hasn't happened before. Notably, Valdez had the tattoo well before May 29th, 2020, the day he was arrested for the crime, and well before he displayed it in court. Body cam video from 2018 shows the tattoo as he reacted with surprise when cops put him in handcuffs for strangling his mother. When's the last time you did time? The officer asked. Valdez was jumpy and seemed to have trouble keeping his arms still. Quote, I just barely got out, dude. F. A week and a half, Valdez said at the time. F, man, are you serious? Valdez went to be on to be paroled with deadly consequences for a man who was just doing his job and in no way provoked his unaliver, though cops reportedly believe the shooter was, quote, disturbed by construction noise. On the very day of the murder, KUTV reported agencies with the Utah Adult Probation and Parole visited Valdez and determined he was doing very well. These people need to be fired. They are not doing good jobs keeping these people out of, the way. Well, we got another crazy case. Georgia beauty queen Linda Shriver's alleged accomplice breaks silence on the Bahamas murder for hire plot of her former NFL player husband. Chicks are crazy. The accused accomplice of and rumored lover of Georgia beauty queen claimed Thursday that he is innocent and, quote, nobody wanted her then estranged husband dead in an alleged murder for hire plot in the Bahamas. Lindsay Shriver's ex-boyfriend, Terrence Adrian Bethel, was arrested alongside the mom of three and alleged hitman, Ferone Fleo Newbold, in July 2023 when the trio was accused of attempting to kill former Auburn football captain Robert Shiver. The plot was foiled when local police unearthed texts that detailed the planned hit during an unrelated investigation of a break-in at a waterfront bar where Bethel worked. Lindsay Shriver allegedly sent a photo of her husband with another woman through a series of messages in the messaging service WhatsApp to Bethel and Newbold and accompanied it with the text, unalive him. She sent the pictures that was just sent to her, Bethel told Good Morning America. When she found out he was there and the kids were home, that's when she was like, take him out. Sure, Jan, sure. That's like Sarah saying she was Schrodinger's drunk. Okie dokie, sure. Bethel defended his former lover's questionable message, claiming she wanted to know if Robert Shriver left their kids unsupervised at their Caribbean island home. Quote, no one ever wanted him dead, he insisted. The Bahamian barman claimed his innocence to the outlet as Lindsay Shriver returned to Nassau for a pretrial court hearing on October 5th. Quote, I am not guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, Bethel said, and Fleo is not guilty of being a hired hitman. It's time to let the world know that we're innocent. Lindsay Shriver admitted to the investigators that she sent frustrating messages after fighting with her husband, whom she married in 2010. Bethel had downplayed the text, saying everyone says things out of frustration and people take things at face value. None of us have anything to hide, he told the Daily Mail last August. Whenever she gets into an argument with him, she lets me know about it. Well, I mean, as your boyfriend, as she's married, I'm sure that's part of the relationship contract. As her side biscuit, if you will. She lets you know that her current biscuit is dry and crumbly. What the hell? Like, how are you trying to make this sound right? Like, everyone vents when, to the guy they're cheating on when their husband pisses them off. Who hasn't been there? Maybe those of us who aren't cheating on our husband. Sure. Shriver lived a double life when she frequently traveled to the island of Abaco, where the family has a second home, and began an affair with Bethel, sources told the Post last August. She lived a double life, this Georgia housewife with lovely kids and a Bahamas bad girl. She got caught up in something really bad, and it's sad, a source said. Before the collapse of their marriage, Shriver split her home between her her time between their multi-million-dollar home in Thomasville, Georgia, and a luxury spread in the exclusive Bahamian enclave of Baker's Bay. And I mean, she cheated with this dude? This dude. This dude is who you decided to try to maybe, spice up your life and possibly lose your mansion for? Not to mention, the promises you made to your husband, but I'm just going materialistic, and I'm like, not the guy I would imagine cheating on, but okay. Oh, yeah, well, they don't let you have makeup in prison, I guess. The couple met while Robert Shriver was the Auburn University football team captain in 2007. The barman said his romance was known and they vented to each other frequently. Us loving each other was not a secret. She was my best friend still, and we continue to care about each other no matter what, which also makes it hard going through this case. Siver, who pled not guilty to her charges, has been staying with her parents in Alabama awaiting her March trial. A Georgia judge granted her permission to travel to the Peach State to visit her children. Well, isn't that special? Robert Shiver began dating Savannah Christie in September 2023, 2 months after surviving the alleged murder for hire hit. The Auburn star went undrafted in the 2009 NFL draft, but signed as a free agent with the Atlanta Falcons after college. He later became an executive vice president for a senior life insurance company. Well, yeah, look, for those of us who have hips, stripes on the side of them do not help any whatsoever. Fashion people. Well, looks like Casey Anthony's back in the news, or more like the judge and prosecutor who continue to be, apparently, we're relitigating this case from, years ago. Casey Anthony, prosecutor, and now a judge are scolded for, quote, lacking the patience, dignity, and courtesy required to be on the bench. Well, let's see how he, fell so far. A Florida judge who made a name for himself while helping lead the unsuccessful prosecution of accused child unaliver Casey Anthony has landed himself in hot water for allegedly acting inappropriately on the bench. The Let's see here. The Judicial Qualifications Commission said Wednesday that a probable cause does exist for formal proceedings to begin against Ninth Circuit Judge Jeff Ashton. According to documents, the commission accuses Ashton of behaving intemperately while sitting on the bench. That includes, quote, shouting at people, appearing before him in the courtroom, and otherwise lacking the patience, dignity, and courtesy required by the Code of Judicial Conduct. He also expressed bias for or against attorneys, the commission has alleged. In one case, he accused an attorney of provoking his quote unquote angry face. He also allegedly raised his voice loud enough to be heard over the white noise machine meant to shield conversations during sidebar conferences, documents also claim. In another case, Ashton reportedly denied a motion to disqualify him as a judge based on bias, saying it was moot because he would be moving to a different division and the case would be reassigned. Ashton was overturned on appeal and the motion to disqualify was granted. The commission also warned him to improve his courtroom etiquette, but it did not get better. Quote, your repeated unwillingness or inability to govern your behavior raises questions about your fitness for judicial office, the commission concluded. Ashton has 20 days to respond to the allegations. The former prosecutor rose to fame during the 2011 murder trial of Anthony, who was accused of taking the life of her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee, in 2008. A jury found Anthony not guilty of the murder charges. Following the trial, Ashton wrote a book and used the profits to successfully run for state attorney of Florida's Ninth Judicial Circuit in 2012. He also faced hot water while state's attorney when it was divulged that he had signed up for Ashley Madison website for men looking to have an affair. He claimed he never had an affair, but only signed up for the site out of curiosity. Sure. Okay. Sir, sir, that's like, no, no. Sir, that's like when my youngest, most feral son was maybe a 4-year old, and he was like, and I'd catch him in the cookie jar, and he'd say, I was getting a cookie for Lou because I love Lou. And I was like, oh, is that why you also have cookie crumbs all over your face? And he's like, no, I love Lou and I share a cookie with you. And I'm like, or you wanted a cookie and you're trying to get away with it. What a dingus. After voters ousted him from office in 2016, Ashton was elected a judge in 2019 and is up for re-election this year. Well, something tells me he's probably not going to get it. Call me crazy. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that he's not going to get that case. Now, here's something that all of our, good for humanity, most of our good for humanity cases seem to involve airlines this week or today, but I'm here for it. After all the bad publicity and bad rap that Boeing has had, we need to believe in airlines at some point. American Airlines passengers save a woman from an allegedly violent male companion on a flight to North Carolina. Do not effing touch her. Well, I'm here for it. Let's get all dingleberries that want to lay hands on anyone taken care of. Several passengers Several passengers on an American Airlines flight to North Carolina Wednesday stepped in to help a woman seated in first class get away from her allegedly violent male travel companion. A shocking video shows several man and a female flight attendant yelling at the alleged aggressor to take his hands off the woman in first class of flight AA310 from Miami to Charlotte. Three men leaned over the seat to confront the man while multiple flight attendants stood in the aisle. The clip posted by Epic Times reporter Arjun Singh shows. Don't effing touch her, one man loudly shouted in the man's face before he seemed to give an inaudible excuse. I don't give an F. Look at me. You effed up. Sorry. You don't effing touch her. End quote. I caught it. A second man screamed that the woman's seatmate should be arrested. Get your effing hands off her right now, he yelled. You touch her again, you're going to get effing arrested. The first man asked the woman if she is okay before passengers tell her to move to another empty seat away from her companion. As she moved across the aisle, the alleged aggressor yells that he was assaulted by the woman and claims that she slapped him, according to the footage. No, you weren't assaulted, she yelled back. I put your hand over your mouth to make you shut up. The second man who intervened stands in the aisle between the pair as other passengers return to their seats and the cabin quiets down. The flight landed 26 minutes early, but the Charlotte Mecklenburg police officers were waiting at the airport and entered the cabin before passengers deplaned. The officers escorted the pair off the plane, then collected witnesses' accounts, according to American Airlines, and a second video shared by Singh. Two customers traveling together were engaged in an altercation aboard American Airlines Flight 310 with service from Miami to Charlotte on October 2nd. Local law enforcement responded and escorted the customers from the CLT airport, a spokesperson from the airline said. We do not tolerate violence and we thank our team members. I don't know why it's doing that. I need to refresh Brave, I think. So it is unclear if the man was arrested. The Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department did not immediately respond to the post for inquiry. But Tammy, I want to say yes, but we have to wait for him to have due process. What if this woman really did hit him? I know it's a thought, but what if she did? I'm seeing more and more video of women assaulting men and then, becoming the cry bully when people come over to, break things up. So this person, like even Sarah Boone, the least among us, deserves their day in court and to have all the facts heard and be judged by other people. But if he is judged guilty, then he's kind of dumb doing this in front of a bunch of witnesses. So I'm glad that people stepped up and stopped a crazy situation from becoming an insane situation. So it reads like she put her hand over his mouth to stop him from maybe talking. Maybe it was getting heated. Uh, Now, depending on how you place your hand over someone else's mouth, it can come across as more as a slap, but I don't know. I was not there. You guys know I would be on the local news if I was there, saying, I saw everything. Let me tell you.
We never go on a plane.
Thank you, youngest most feral. Youngest most feral's like, we've never been on a plane. Yes, I haven't been on a plane in a long time. Thank you, youngest most feral. In another heartwarming story, because we need them sometimes, Nibby the diva beaver will stay at a rescue center, Massachusetts governor decides. Well, she looks like she's happy and sassy. The question of whether a 2-year-old beaver named Nibby can stay with rescuers she's known since a baby or must be released into the wild was resolved Thursday when the Massachusetts governor stepped in to protect Nibby. The state issued a permit to the Newhouse Wildlife Rescue for Nibby to remain at the rehabilitation facility and serve as an educational animal. Nibby has captured the hearts of many of our residents, including mine, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey. Well, I'm glad you can, pardon a gopher. Could you maybe look at your state troopers, ma'am? Come on now. Yeah, of all the animals, it had to be a beaver. Do not let Trooper Proctor guard this animal. Do not. Can you imagine the text he'd sent about her? We're excited to share that we have issued a permit for Nibby to remain at Newhouse, continuing to educate the public about this important species. Nibby's fate has made it all the way to the state courts before Haley stepped in. A judge on Tuesday said that Nibby would be allowed to stay in her home at the rescue center in Chelmsford, located northwest of Boston. A hearing had been set on Friday in a case filed by the rescuers against Mass Wildlife, the state's division of fisheries and wildlife, to stop the release. Nibby's rescuers at Newhouse Wildlife Rescue said on a Facebook page that they were beyond grateful for Healy's decision. Nibby has been a hit on the rescue group's social media since she was a baby, and posting about her impending release garnered thousands of comments. An online petition to save Nibby from being released into the wild had received over 25,000 signatures. Lawmakers have weighed in, and earlier this week, Healy pledged to make sure that Nibby is protected. Quote, we all care about what's best for the beaver known as Nibby and all wild animals throughout our state, Mark Tissa, director of Mass Wildlife, said in a statement Thursday. We share the public's passion for wildlife and invite everyone to learn more about beavers and their important place in our environment. Jane Newhouse, the rescue group's founder and president, said that after Nibby was found on the side of the road, they tried to reunite her with nearby beavers who could have been her parents, but they were unsuccessful. After that, attempts to get her to bond with other beavers also didn't work. I mean, I'd kind of be okay with that. It's very difficult to consider releasing her when she only seems to like people and seems to have no interest in being wild or bonding with any of her own species. Yeah, they would essentially be letting her go to be not alive at the end of it, if you catch my drift. Nibby has a large enclosure with a pool at the rescue operation and will also wander in a yard in its rehabilitation space, Newhouse said. She pretty much has full run of the place. Everyone on my team is in love with her. Newhouse said she asked Mass Wildlife if she could get a permit for Nibby to become an educational beaver. Well, at least she didn't say emotional support beaver. Okay. Allowing her to take the beaver to schools, libraries, and town halls. Newhouse said she feared a release would mean certain death for her beloved diva beaver, who doesn't know how to live in the wild. This article is entrapment. I feel like Sarah Boone here, just trying to go get my cell phone, and I'm being I am being entrapped here. This is not my fault. Damn you, AP. Newhouse said that beavers usually leave their parents between the ages of 2 and 3 years old, so it's possible that over the next year, Nibby will show more interest in wanting to be in the wild, but unless that happens, she wants to keep her safe. Beavers are common and abundant. Okay, you guys, I swear to goodness, if they stop the rubber ducky thing and start just putting beavers all over Canton, I'm not gonna say that that would be hilarious, but that would be the funniest effing thing ever. Because then they would be forced to, local news, "There's beavers abounding in Canton, and no one knows why." Is there a beaver on the loose in Canton? Like, the jokes write themselves. Please, anyone involved in the Karen Reed case who has more time and more petty energy than I do, you're welcome. It's a gift to you. I say start leaving beavers next to the ducks. They will just be confused. uh, so they are common and abundant through Massachusetts, a keystone species. Beavers play an important role in fostering biodiversity of ecosystems, according to state officials. By damming rivers and streams and forming shallow ponds, beavers are vital for creating healthy wetlands that support tremendous diversity of plants, bugs, and wildlife and store floodwaters during storms. They're also North America's largest native rodent. Yay! Weighing between 35 and 80 pounds and reaching 2 to 3 feet. I have never seen an 80-pound one of those animals. I was going to say, I've never seen a giant beaver that big, but at this point, we are already down the rabbit hole at this point. Adult beavers have very few predators and can live for 20 years. In almost all cases, it's best to leave wildlife alone. Don't touch things that stay outside. No, boys, we cannot bring the snapping turtle into our house.
Yeah.
No.
That was Gunnery Day.
Yeah, that's a sore spot. We had a snapping turtle who used to like to sun itself on our lower driveway, and I swear to God, okay, I suffer from current dramatic stress, but this like turtle was this big, okay? It was huge. It was huge, and I contend that I do not like, swimming in ponds or lakes because I have been traumatized with the fear of snapping turtles. Forget Jaws. I'm like, I can't see the bottom of the lake. It's either going to go Lake Placid and there's going to be a giant alligator, or there's going to be a snapping turtle, and I just can't.
What about there was powerful snapping turtles?
So when we got, this giant, snapping turtle, the boys were all wanting to adopt it. And I was like, no, those are demonic, and we're putting it back where it goes. And by we, I mean Mr. Moe. Mr. Moe had to get like the, snow shovel, carefully put it into our, radio flyer wagon, and then calmly, parade it back to the lake from whence it came. In our final story this morning, an angler reels in a rare toothy fish from Maryland Creek. Are we getting to the Simpsons fish with 3 eyes, asking
Yes.
for a friend? It's very funny. Usually I don't have anyone in my room giving me dual commentary, but I have youngest most feral who's become my bodyguard, and just making sure I realize that the boys both exist. And And I will not forget, uh, I don't know, I can deal with cats. Not so much turtles. Turtles scare me. Like even the cute little ones that are only supposed that are snakehead ones. I'm like, no, no, I'm done. I'm good. No turtles. The only turtles I like are Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and I want to say Luigi, but I know that's not right. There's a fourth one.
Did I seriously just sell my unit?
Yeah. So I will say that, yeah, I was against the turtle thing. An angler casting his line in a Maryland creek reeled something highly unusual for the state, a fish with a full set of human-like teeth. I'm going to need you to douse that in holy water, okay? Jeremy Cooper said he initially thought that he had caught a sunfish in... Okay, y'all, I need chat help. How the hell does one say this particular creek? Kanahuchikigi Street? No. This is a this is a this is a creek. But he noticed that the fish had a full mouth of human-like teeth. Was Alex Jones right? Are they making fish human chimeras? Oh, Coochie. Yeah, because that looks exactly how it was spelled. Cooper sent photos of the fish to a Maryland Department of Natural Resources, which identified it as a red-bellied pacao, a South American fish related to piranha. Well, that's good. Piranha in the creek. Good idea. The Department of Natural Resources said that pacu are frequently kept in private aquariums, which was likely the origin of Cooper's catch. The fish was most likely released from someone's aquarium. Oh, a real life, freeing me or Finding Nemo. We encourage people to not release their pets into Maryland waters because of the threat of introducing species that could establish themselves or threaten to introduce new diseases. Oklahoma boy Charlie Chitton made headlines last year when he caught a pacu in a neighborhood pond. State officials said that fish was also most likely a illegally released pet. So don't release your, I guess, kissing cousins to piranha into the Maryland water supply. What is wrong with people? This is how we got freaking pythons in Florida. Stop it. Stop it. I don't know. It's insanity. Well, you guys, so for today, I will be keeping an eye on, whenever those the orders from the court, because they were supposed to be in as soon as possible for the Sarah Boone case. I also have a motion I would like to read to you guys about the Delphi case. The media is fighting back finally, and they want to be included in seeing publicly or held public, labeled public exhibits that Judge Gold has been still keeping from the media nearly, years and years later. So it will be absolutely insane. That case is getting ready to start in the next week too. Now, the difference between the Delphi case and why I will probably be doing updates based on what other people report is that is a tiny courthouse. The judge is not allowing, basically, there will be 10 seats left over at the end of the day after family and friends on both sides and, the selected media that are allowed to be there have it done. So it is very upsetting that the judge that personally fought to get video cameras introduced into Indiana is now fighting like hell to keep the media out. Well, congratulations, greedy bloke, as always. A good day starts, however a good day starts for you. I am off to take, and this is just a thank you to you guys. I don't know that I would have had the courage or maybe um, the peace within myself to bring Walker, Moe's Ranger, even unbedazzled, to the orchard. But having a wonderful group of people that have shown their adaptations to life with maybe a chronic condition, chronic pain, or, just how they make things easier and all the support that you guys have given me, I will be taking my unbedazzled but fully functional Walker with me to the orchard today so that I can, walk around with the kiddos. And even if all that goes to pot, I can still go to, the store with them and get the apples that they already bag. And there's a playground there, and my walker has a seat, so I can just watch them sit and get some energy out. So if there's something in your life that's holding you back, I would encourage you to think of how you can adapt the situation. It doesn't mean that it's going to get any easier, but you can definitely adapt your mindset, adapt, the way you go about things. And it's not going to be the same. You're probably not going to reach your goal the same way, but there are so many possibilities that you can do certain things and you can thrive and survive and adapt. So that is my message to you guys today. And have a wonderful day. I will see you later. I am just going to be spending some time with the kiddos today. So if I don't see you until Legal Shenanigans Theater tomorrow at 3, have a wonderful weekend.